Hello, everybody. Welcome to Captain George's Armory. This is Captain Georgia, and I just want to kind of say right off the beginning that this video might be sort of weird. Um, I have two replays that we're going to look at. The first one, it's an 8.8 replay. I'd already done commentary over it, and I realized I really didn't like the commentary. I thought it was too angry and kind of a little too much of a rant. So I decided I wanted to do it again. But before I did it again, patch 8.9 came out, and I could no longer view that replay anymore. So I decided that I'll have to do the commentary over the recording that I already have, which means that the sound is going to be kind of weird. So I apologize in advance for that. The commentary might be kind of quiet, and I might actually end up losing most of the game sounds, which is unfortunate. That's a huge part of why I stopped doing the commentary that way. It just didn't work very well, and I don't have like an editing program that's any good, and I don't really have any real computer skills, so I apologize for that. The second replay is an 8.9 replay, and it's not uploading properly to whatreplays.com. So I'm not going to be able to have any post-game statistics, which is very frustrating, because that was an excellent game. Anyway, apologies and stuff out of the way. What we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to look at two examples of why you don't just give up. Every now and then the matchmaker throws you a horrible battle. Maybe you take something out into battle like this thing, the T-49, which is a really, really good Tier 5 tank destroyer. And maybe the matchmaker gives you a match that's almost entirely Tier 7 heavies. What do? Do you drive off a cliff and suicide? Do you run forward as a suicide scout? Like, do you run forward as a fast scout and maybe die early but actually try to do some good? Like, what should you do? And there are a lot of people out there that'll go AFK because they can't do anything, or who will suicide because they can't do anything. I would say that, honestly, I am more likely to try and fight hard in a stupid manner and die, which is not really something that you should do. Just giving up, it's never a good idea to just right at the beginning of the match look at the match and go, oh, I give up. Because, if you play your hardest and try to contribute to your team, a couple of things will happen. First of all, you'll get better rewards. Like, be selfish. Do the most good that you can possibly do and get yourself better rewards. Because if you sit there and AFK through the whole game and do absolutely nothing, yeah, sure, if your team wins, you'll get a couple hundred experience. If your team loses, you'll get 100 experience. But if you play as a passive scout in that match instead of sitting AFK and your team wins, you might get 1,000 experience. If your team loses, you might get 250. And 250 doesn't seem like much more than 100, but it's actually a lot more than 100. It's 150% more. So, and if that math is wrong, personally, I don't care. It's more than double. So, anyway, that's the first thing that can happen, is you can get better rewards. The second thing that can happen is you can surprise yourself and win. And surprising yourself and winning is definitely a great feeling, especially when you're just afraid that you're not going to be able to do what needs to be done. And then it comes out, and then it comes and you find out that you actually easily did it, and it wasn't even a big deal. So yeah, just don't give up on your matches. Give them their fair share. Play hard and do your best all the time. Not just for yourself, but, for everybody else on your team. People complain about this game. Everyone's a lousy teammate. And, they want to make that better by having skill-based matchmaking and all this crap. Well, the number one way to make it better is to just be a better team member. Like, if you're a better team member and everybody else is trying to be a better team member too, what do you know? You got 15 good teammates. Anyway, guys, without further ado, let's take a look at a couple of battles. The first one's going to be in the Object 268, and the second one is going to be in the Leopard prototype. So let's jump into battle and take a quick look at those two matches. Alright, guys, we're picking this replay up in the middle. This is me recording over the recording because what I said about the patch issues, I can't actually view this replay anymore. So we're not going to have any game sound, which is unfortunate, but at least we'll have, at least you'll be able to hear the commentary. So the quick summary of the way this match is going. What we want to look at is, on the mini-map, you can see our MT-25 sitting in A9. At the very beginning of the match, for whatever reason he had, he decided his best way to, contribute was to go to A9, park there, and do nothing. So I don't know if Will Jr., the MT-25 driver, I don't know if, he could have had any reason for doing that, ranging from, I'm a selfish noob who doesn't know why a tier 6 tank should get in with tier 10s, anything right down to, oh my god, I just had a heart attack and I'm dying. But we'll never know. So guys, if you're going to go AFK in a match, if you have a legitimate reason, because sometimes there are legitimate reasons for AFKing, just type a 2-second message into chat. It happens to me sometimes, it happens to everybody. Just type into chat, oh crap, my landlord called, gotta go. Whatever, it happens. But, this guy didn't do that, so we're left to just plumb the mysteries of the universe. But anyway, situation in this match. I'm in my 268. I came down onto the north side and was fighting over there, but a look at the minimap reveals that we're down to nothing but our STI defending the south road, and that's where a lot of the fighting has been. We know the mouse was over there. I figure our T-34 and our T-57 Heavy with a scout tank in support can pretty easily, smash down 2 tier 8s and keep pushing from their side. So me and this T-69, both on pretty low health, decide to go over and help out our STI, who is also on very low health. So we're gonna start the match rolling from there. So yeah, just this video. Wow, that was a huge stutter. This video is all about not giving up. Don't sell yourself short. And I just have a really hard time trying to figure out why that MT-25 thought that his best bet for this match was to just do nothing. Like, I don't understand. Even if we win, he's going to get horrible experience. But oh well. Anyway, continuing right along. Now that I've redeployed all the way over to the weak side of the map, we have lost every tank that was on the north side. So that's lovely. As soon as I redeploy, everything that was north is now dead. Luckily for us, they've also killed everything over there. There's nothing left but a scout tank. So it's not a huge problem. The only thing I'm really worried about now is the batshot artillery is so fast he could backdoor cap us. But it turns out I don't have to worry about that, because the batshot artillery is right in front of me and I just blew his head off. Now our STI is on really low health. Excuse me. He's down to about 120. Excuse me. He's probably not going to be too keen on attacking. And we just found the enemy mouse, and he's on full health. Luckily for me, I'm in an Object 268, which is basically the mouse killer. But still, the prospect of driving across an open field with a marauding light tank that I have no idea where he is to attack a basically full health mouse under fire from a GW Tiger P, that is not a prospect that I am relishing. And this is where our scout tank being AFK really jeopardizes the match. If that MT-25 were alive, he could make a huge contribution to this battle very, very simply. All he would have to do is drive around the north and park in, like, E2 behind a rock. That would do a couple of things for us. First of all, he might be able to detect the mouse or the 131, which would be nice. But even if he couldn't do that, he would at the very least be able to ensure that the 131 didn't go and try to cap our base. Because that 131, if he'd gone and capped our base right now, he would have succeeded. He would have won this battle. Because, our STI is leaving the base, I'm out of the base, the Hardy's out of the base, and the MT-25 is AFK. So, this light tank on our team could really be doing a lot of good to help us win the battle. But instead, he's not. He's being completely selfish, and oddly enough, in his selfishness, he's making sure that he gets no rewards, which is just a little bit of irony right there. So again, we're trying to move in. We're trying to locate the enemy so that we can attack this mouse, and it would be a lot easier if our scout tank was actually playing World of Tanks, not sitting off in a corner doing whatever it is that AFK players do. The only thing I can think of is I'm going to have to side with Quickie Baby on this one. I think that MT-25 might be a trackpad user, or if you're American, touchpad user. So yeah, we got a touchpad or something. I don't know what's going on, but he's definitely not taking part in this battle. Grab a nice sip of coffee right there. So at this point, I'm actually pretty worried about coming around the corner and engaging, because I only have 712 health. That 131 could actually kill me pretty quickly, and there's a pretty good chance that he could fire at me without me even detecting him. Not only that, but a mouse can do almost 600 damage per hit, and it's very, very likely that the mouse will be firing premium rounds, because, well, most mouse drivers carry a lot of premium shells and are not afraid to use them, since the gun on the mouse is comparatively terrible for a tier 10. The other reason why I'm really not keen on driving out and engaging is that GW Tiger P can just waste me so hard. But anyway, there we are. We find the mouse. We put a big hit onto him. We do 873 damage, but he fires back and does 492 to me. Kind of a low damage roll for the mouse, but I'm not going to complain about a low damage roll at a time like this. Now, the problem is, we've spotted the mouse, but we need to kill him kind of quickly, because the enemy team now knows where I am, and it's only a matter of time before GW Tiger P shells start coming in. So I'm looking for shots on this mouse. I fire one. I was more hoping to detrack than anything else, because our Conqueror gun carriage is a really good player who is looking to do everything he can to help us win. And right there, our STI comes in, shoots the mouse in the side, detracks him and does a little bit of damage. And because he detracked that mouse and lowered his health, he was low enough that I could one-hit kill him. So that little bit of team play there by the low health SCI, that was more of a contribution than everything our MT-25 did. That was just incredible. Now, we get really lucky here. We spot the 131. Luckily for us, the 131 missed, and I did not. I did not stop to aim that shot. I fired that shot clutch. After killing the mouse, it probably would have been okay if I'd, taken my full aiming cycle to aim, but I just did not want to risk it. Not in a battle like this. And now we're looking for the GW Tiger P, and we found him. We've got a shell loaded. We fire, and that's game. We do win the battle, but it would have been so much easier if we'd actually had a scout tank alive at the end of the game, scouting, instead of sitting on his butt. So let's take a quick look at some post-game stats, and then we'll be on to the battle in the Leopard prototype. So guys, quick look at the post-game stats here. You can see we're looking at the stats on our MT25 Will Jr. Aside from the fact that I watched him over the whole course of the match, knowing that he didn't move, we can tell that he didn't even attempt to take part in this battle. He only traveled 0.26 kilometers, which means that he drove to that corner of the map and sat there. He fired no shots, did no damage, received no hits, detected nothing, damaged nothing, did nothing. And he still came away with pretty good experience because he had a team to carry him through the battle. So that's kind of a dick move by that guy. Screw him. In slightly more happy news, where are you? Our ST1 STI. He didn't do the most damage ever. He didn't get the most kills ever. He fired a lot of shots from a really powerful gun and only penned 3 times. But he did definitely do a lot for that win. Just in holding on that corner, and at the very end when he came up and he detracked that mouse, that, he gave his life to detrack that mouse. But when he did it, he made a big contribution to winning that game. That one detracking shot on that mouse was worth more than our entire MT25. So that one shell that he fired that didn't really even do hardly anything was worth more than 1/15 of our entire team. So, yeah, just if that MT25 had decided to do something like drive around the north end and detect that mouse or detect that scout or, make a run on the enemy artillery, he would have gotten himself probably triple the experience that he ended up getting in this match, at least the double. But instead, he chose to be selfish and screw himself out of rewards and not just generally be an ass. Anyway, guys, that's this match in a nutshell. We're going to take the Leopard prototype out. We're going to take a look at a Leopard prototype battle. So I hope you enjoy that Leopard prototype battle because it was a good one. Alright guys, well here we are in battle, we're in the Leopard prototype, and before the match starts rolling, I just want to take a quick look at the matchmaker, talk about why I initially kind of gave up on this match. Not gonna lie, I saw the enemy platoon number 2, and I just was like, that's it, we're done. They've got a T-57 Heavy, a Leopard 1, and a Waffenträger E-100 that are all in a platoon together, and they're all from Simp. And they're also all really good. 2,000 efficiency, 1,700 efficiency, 1,970 efficiency. Anyway, regardless of numbers, Simp is just a real force to be reckoned with. On the NA server, Simp is easily one of the top clans. They're a real force to be reckoned with in esports. They're not good people to have to fight against. They know what they're doing. They're good players. There's no slackers in that clan. And the Leopard prototype is a rough tank to have to use to try and counter them. Because every single one of those tanks they have can just rip my tank to shreds. The Waffenträger E-100, if he's got either one of his guns, he can kill me in 4 shots. Or, with good damage rolls, he can kill me in 3 shots from the 150. But anyway, the T-57 can kill me in 1 clip. The Leopard prototype, compared to the Leopard 1, the Leopard just has a way better aiming time and way higher rate of fire compared to the Leopard prototype. So if we run into each other and we end up trading blows, he can deal a lot faster damage than I can. So it's just going to be a rough match for me to counter those guys, especially in this tank. But the good thing is, my team looks like they're pretty good as well. Excuse me. Our T62A, our 268, they both look like pretty good players. Our T54 looks like a pretty decent player. Our Type 59 driver looks like a pretty decent player. A little miffed that he's platooned up into this match, but oh well. So yeah, I mean, just I saw that platoon and I didn't give up like totally, but I basically thought to myself, "Oh great, we pretty much lose this match. I'll try and I'll try and see what I can do before I die." And that's not entirely the same as totally giving up, but it basically amounts to the same thing. I just had a completely fatalistic view on this match, where, in my mind, the only possible thing that could happen is we were going to lose. But anyway, I decided that I'm not going to totally give up or anything. I'm still going to try and, I'm still going to play the match. I'm going to see what I can do. But I'm really not expecting anything other than a swift and well-orchestrated death at the hands of the enemy's platoon number 2. So I come over to this position to snipe. The Leopard prototype is a pretty decent sniper tank, and we get a good hit on the enemy 4502A. You can see down in the Sector J4, the enemy T-57 and Waffenträger E-100 have pushed around very aggressively with a M103 backing them up. And right there, we managed to put another shot into a T-69. And at this point, I decided that I need to take a little bit of action. It's only 2 minutes into the match, but with that really, really hyper-aggressive south push, I decided that I need to get a little bit more in the game here and see if I can come help out those guys. So I shift my position down here to try and get some support fire onto the south. And I am taken aback when a E100 appears out of nowhere. And at this point, I basically have given up. I've got a E100 sitting on top of my face. It's only going to be a matter of time before that E100 just rolls up and derps me again, and I can't survive many hits from his gun on the best of times. Luckily, I will note, the Waffenträger E100 has died, and the Simp T-57 is taking heavy damage. So, on the Simp platoon front, things could actually be going a lot worse. At this point, I realized that the E100 can't really kill me nearly as easily as I thought, and I need to get my head out of my butt and start playing the game. I just bounced an E100 heat shell right off the mantlet. I was pretty excited about that, but then I get a reminder that RNG goes both ways as I bounce a 269mm penetration armor-piercing composite rigid shell off of an AMX 1390. So, at this point here, I've realized that this game is far from lost. We're very much in this game. The Simp platoon isn't just murdering us like I thought they would. At this point right here, I've pulled my head out from between my legs, and the panic reaction is gone, and it's time for me to fight. I've run into the Leopard 1, which is not the best thing I could have encountered. The Leopard 1's got, higher rate of fire, higher penetration, higher accuracy, higher aim time, and higher gun depression, which is actually a huge advantage in the terrain we're fighting on. But I'm not alone either. I've got help from a 1390, I've got help from a 268, there's a T-54 behind me as well. So I decided that I'm going to try and use my my tank's advantages here to push in on this KV-4. I'm going to help the 1390, who is being pretty aggressive. And what we're going to do here is we're going to try to use our tank's really good mobility and strong gun to just poke this KV-4 and then retreat before he can swivel his slow turret and fire his slow firing gun. And because the T-62A is distracting the KV-4, we're able to work him, and we take him out with the T-62A very effectively. At this point, I decide that, this Leopard needs to go. I'm coming after this leopard, and it looks like the 1390 is coming after him with me. So I put a shot into the leopard. The 1390 goes for him. I kind of follow the 1390 around. Alright, the 1390 is taking out the leopard. It's time for me to get out of here. I need to use my mobility and go down and help that M103. The enemy M103 has been fighting in that corner since about 2 minutes into this match. He's been fighting down in that corner now for about 5 minutes. Heavily outgunned, heavily outnumbered, but he's still alive and kicking, so I want to go help our friendly M103 out because this enemy M103 obviously knows what he's doing. So we use our good mobility. We arrive in time, put a shot into the back of the M103. I'm just trying to keep my friendly M103 alive. So I want to kill the enemy M103 ASAP. So there we go. We fire, put the kill shot into him. You can see the 1390 going after our artillery. I would have liked to have kept our artillery up as well, but unfortunately we're not able to do that. The artillery goes down. But I'm going to take this 1390 with me. And at this point I'm thinking I need to be really careful. That 1390 can very easily kill me. And he actually has the advantage against me in a straight up fight. I fire at the 1390 and he decides to pop down over the ridge, which is really good because it gave me time to reload my gun. But I didn't need to worry about that. The friendly M103, who I came over to help out, came over and helped me out. So that's what I was talking about before, about if you try to be a good teammate, other people will end up being good teammates for you. I came over to help out that M103. He needed help or he was probably going to die. And within a matter of minutes, he returned the favor. And he put the kill shot into that 1390 and saved me. So that guy could have given up as well, being in the position that he was, and we probably would have actually lost this match. So at this point, the match is completely over. We're just cleaning up the enemy batshot artillery. We've got 2 very fast mediums, a very fast light, and a fast heavy coming to take down the enemy artillery. So his days are numbered. And the T-54 finishes him off. And that is game. Unfortunately, we have no post-game results for that battle. But to quickly summarize that battle, I thought that our team was going to get destroyed immediately because their team had 3 very, very highly skilled players playing together in a platoon, all in very powerful vehicles. But our team was not without its own good players. I had a really good game, 3 kills, 4,200 known damage, which is a lot. But I'm not the only one who played well. Our T-62A, he only got 2 kills, but he did a hell of a lot of damage. He did another, I think, 4,000, maybe even more. Just a very good game from our T-62A. The T-54 on our team, he cleaned up a lot of the kills at the end of the game. He only did about 1,500, maybe 2,000 damage, but he pulled in 4 kills, was going around mopping up really effectively. And without that, things might have gone a lot different. Our M103, sticking it out, fighting in the south. Hats off to you, sir. So, that just goes to show, I thought that those 3 highly skilled coordinating players would just utterly decimate my team, and I had a very fatalistic mindset going into this battle, but we decided not to give up, we decided to fight hard, we decided to do the most we could for victory, and we ended up coming out of it with top damage, top experience, 3 kills, a lot of credits, and a good feeling in our belly to know that we helped to counter the very powerful Sim platoon in a tank that is horrible to carry and in a tank that is not often countering tier 10s. So yeah, it was definitely a fun battle. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed playing these games, especially, pulling off the upset wins. It's always a good feeling. So until next time, guys, just remember this is Captain Georgia, and you can never have enough big guns.